everybody, I'm Amber. Welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming content. I've got my sister with me today. Oh, I'm pointing to the wrong side. Here we go. This is Michelle. She's going to be joining us for our Loki reactions and watch-alongs. And yeah, so we're going to dive right in. Okay, so let's do a quick rundown of last week's episode. Obviously, the big reveal was in the last, 30 seconds, but we spent pretty much the entire episode learning about this so-called Loki variant that they are chasing. I'm not convinced it's Loki. Michelle, you can talk about that more in a second. They found her. It is a female Loki. Again, I'm using that term sparingly. I've tried to stay away from the theories, but Michelle has, she just absorbs everything. So, Michelle, do you want to talk a little bit about Lady Loki versus Enchantress?
Yeah, so I kind of feel like they might kind of combine the two characters, but the reason why I think that it's more Enchantress is because, first of all, her powers are very similar. Um, that lovely green glow, and she says her name is Sylvie, which is the name of the current iteration of her in the comics.
Okay.
And in the comics, she gets all her powers from Loki, but she has no memory of that. She doesn't know that he gave her all her powers. She thinks she's an Asgardian. So I don't know if that's the way they're going to go with it. Don't know. I have a feeling we'll find out really soon. So,
So she is a villain in the comics, though,
yeah.
right?
hmm I
Okay.
think she
And
usually
then
works with Scourge, which we haven't seen since
okay. And
Ragnarok.
then is Lady Loki then just supposed to be like an alternate version of
Yeah. That was,
our
yeah,
Loki?
because
Okay.
he called himself that when he was a female. So,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I know, very
Gosh.
original, but they're not really good with their names, so it's okay.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, we won't go into that. That's like a whole separate thing. Okay, so here's the other big question. Are the timekeepers real? What do you think?
I think if they are real, they're probably not good guys, I feel like. But I don't know. They could also just be following people that don't exist anymore or existed at one time, but they're not really there and they're just continuing on, or someone else is in charge. I feel like that judge lady has something to do with the whole scenario.
Right, right. And then is the TVA, do you think the TVA is going to end up being the bad guy?
I feel
Is Enchantress going to be end up being the good guy in this scenario?
I think she'll probably think she is. She obviously has a really good reason for why she's doing what she's doing. And
Mhm.
as far as the people that actually work for the TVA, I feel like if they end up being bad guys, they might not realize. Like, I don't think, like, Owen Wilson's character, or Mobius, I don't feel like he would believe at all that he'd be working for the wrong side. But he might
No, I
unknowingly be
mean,
working for the wrong side. So,
he loves jet skis. I mean, can you fault the man?
yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Anything else you want to talk about before we dive
I
in?
don't think so. I'm excited.
It takes a while.
Yeah, see that
It's
that
a
green glowy take over the mind thing, that's definitely an enchantress power.
Yeah, I was like, that's not
Yeah.
Loki. At least
At
not
least
this Loki, because
not that he's learned yet.
right, because he could only do mind control when he had the scepter.
Right.
I don't think we've seen him do it
But
any other
perhaps he
way.
is capable of doing that, but he just hasn't learned that yet.
Right. See, my confusion is if the TVA are supposed to be this all powerful and all knowing thing, they keep calling her
I
Loki.
know.
So like and that's my thing. But I also am just really confused by how there's allowed to be multiple Lokis if there's only one timeline, but oh, there she is.
Hey, and that's the girl.
Yeah, that's the one she kidnapped. Is this flashback?
How many people are guarding the timekeepers?
So she basically just got her drugged.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that the best way? Truth serum?
I mean, I guess if you just spend your life in the TVA, I mean, you probably never have alcohol. Oh, one of her horns is broken. Did
I
you see that?
did, and I don't remember that happening.
Yeah, see, I knew that's where she was going. I'm like, they're all leaving, so of course she's going to the TVA. That's what I figured. Okay, yeah,
Hi.
horn's
Oh,
broken.
power not work?
That
Oh,
didn't work.
power's
Oh,
not
because she has no magic. No magic in the TVA. Oh, but she can fight, so. Oh, good, you got your knives back.
I just watched Ragnarok last night, and when he was wearing the black suit when his dad died, and he pulled out his
Yeah.
daggers when Hela
Yeah.
showed up. I was like, oh, you're so cute.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, there's
Oh,
her.
there she is.
Come any closer.
She don't care.
Nobody cares! He's just another variant.
What is he
Like,
putting on? He is a trickster. Oh,
I know, but I felt like we didn't really see him do things like that before. Low battery? Oh my god.
well, you know.
Where's a good USB charger when you need it?
Oh,
There you go! That's how you use your magic.
I'm just leaving her behind. Peace.
I mean, he's got no loyalty to her.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure her powers weren't going to work on him. Huh. Enchant?
I love how she just like slid up to him so slyly, like, let me just do this.
I don't think it's because his mind's too strong. I think he gave
don't
her her
think so.
powers. He just doesn't know how to do it. She's obviously future Loki or whatever.
Something.
If we can't get that temp pad turned back
Where
on.
do you have it hidden?
Oh God, I don't want Loki to have the power to do that.
Right?
No way he'll use that for good.
The plan you interrupted was years in the making.
Years.
Years.
Okay, got it.
There's power somewhere on this moon. We just need enough of it to travel through interdimensional time and space.
Just
Oh,
that.
that's all. No big deal. Not well, it's, you know, falling apart and falling into a planet or. Does this look like Fallout?
Kinda.
Doesn't it? I mean, I'm like, let me go raid that diner over there. Like, since when? Oh,
That. Who the beep
who's
is
that? I thought for a second it was Luke Skywalker. Doesn't that kind of look like an old Mark Hamill? Oh, they gotta wear their masks too, huh?
Oh, God.
Hello, look.
Like someone with a shit plan.
It's a great plan.
Oh my gosh, that outfit is awful.
God awful.
Look at that helmet. He looks like he's got like a bird's beak or something.
Another!
That was a very Thor move right there.
I know. Gotta throw your glass on the ground.
Love is an imaginary dagger.
Doesn't make sense, does it?
No.
I mean, it was
Terrible
kind of nice up to a point. I kind of thought he was gonna stab her with the with the knife, and I was gonna be like, "Love is a dagger until it stabs you." Ah! Hey, use those horns as a weapon. Why not? Maybe that's how it got broken.
Oh, he looks better without that jacket on.
He really does.
Oh, that's a sad story.
No more drinking for you, Loki. No more drinking. No more figgy port or whatever the hell it was. Whoa. Uh-oh. Don't piss her off, dude.
It's a long
Like,
walk, guys.
shouldn't they be running or something? Like, I feel like they're taking their sweet time.
Can't you magic yourself over there or something?
Yeah. Is teleportation not one of his powers?
I'm in control, but they're there too. In order to preserve the connection, I have to create a fantasy from their memories.
Oh, okay, so that's what she's doing with the girl.
So it's actually their memories.
I had to pull a memory from hundreds of years prior, before she even fought for them.
Before she fought for them. I thought they were created by the TVA. Ho ho ho!
I was told that everyone who works at the TVA was created by the Timekeepers.
That's ridiculous.
They're
They're all
variants.
variants?
oh, Mobius is gonna be really sad about that. Oh my god, that makes
Oh
so
my
much
god.
sense. Oh, he really loves the 90s.
Ooh, I like her better without the clothes.
Totally.
She looks a lot sleeker.
Really, all the heroes look better without any kind of cape on. Oh,
Oh no, they're like, watch out. Yeah, for everything. Well, that was different. Yeah, but they're not gonna make it to shit. Yeah,
something's.
that plan's dead.
Oh,
What?
what the?
That was the end of
crap?
the episode. You freaking kidding me?
No.
Ay, ay, ay. All right, third episode of Loki is done now. Michelle, what are your initial thoughts?
Well, something's got to happen to get them off that planet, or that's a really short show.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm not really sure what that could even be because the TVA is not going to know they're there and they're busy.
Yeah.
So,
Someone else needs to show
yep,
up, maybe?
someone else.
Any
Maybe someone on her
any
side.
thoughts? Oh yeah, maybe. Maybe someone from her timeline, because I'm still confused where she comes from.
Yeah, I don't know where she originally comes from in this.
So, do you still think she's Enchantress?
I think.
Because I think we got no
I
clear
know.
answers in that episode.
It really kind of feels like they're combining the two, like giving that as a backstory,
Yeah.
which I guess would work.
So she says she taught herself magic.
Right. It
She
doesn't really
doesn't want to
sound
be
like she
called
was on
Loki.
Asgard, or was she? I don't even know. Because she didn't know Frigga, so that wasn't her
Yeah.
parents.
Yeah.
Mm,
I mean, she gave little to no information, so we're just guessing at this
yeah.
point. All right, well, let's talk about the big surprise at the
Hmm.
end. So everybody in the TVA is
A variant.
not, yeah, is a variant, is not created by the Timekeepers. Whew. So, I mean, like you said, like Mobius gonna be upset. He's like your true believer.
Right?
That's gonna be disappointing. But then he might also be like, "Hey, I can go ride a jet ski now." It also means that like all their rules about like the TVA can't go do things is total crap because they're from the
Which kind of
timeline.
seems like they're bad guys.
Yeah.
That made up their own rules and then erased everyone's memories so they wouldn't question it.
Yeah, that's
That's not nice. And I actually know nothing about the TVA from the comics. I haven't really read up
I
on
don't
that at
either.
all. I mean, I know it's a
Yeah,
thing, and obviously, but I don't really know anything about it except that Kang is somehow involved.
Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah, doesn't he have like a time traveling ring or something?
I don't know anything about Kang the Conqueror, but I did hear he is coming up. Wait, I think he's going to be in the next Ant-Man movie.
Hmm.
But I haven't heard about this being tied to Ant-Man at all, so I don't think that's going to
Well,
be
doesn't it
Kang.
all have to be tied together somehow?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, how much is the Ant-Man movies really tied to the other ones? Apart from the fact that Endgame hinges on the quantum realm,
Is
but
that coming out before or after Doctor Strange?
that is a great question. I think it's after Doctor
Because I
Strange.
feel like Doctor Strange is going to change a lot of things. Obviously, this is
Obviously.
too.
Yeah.
And Black Widow's a prequel. But the only thing I've heard about that is that the end credit scene has to do with what's currently happening on Loki. So that should be interesting to
Wait,
find out. Yeah.
what? Oh God.
I don't have any
Whew,
idea what it is
okay.
because it obviously hasn't come out yet, but that's all the critics said was that that it was awesome and
Man,
that
I'm not even.
The end credit scene was juicy for what is happening now. Like, what could that
Okay.
be?
Did you hear how that Julia Louise-Dreyfus's character from Falcon and Winter Soldier was actually supposed to first show up in Black Widow,
Huh.
but because of all the changes they had to make, she ended up showing up in Falcon and Winter Soldier first.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there's a tie-in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm looking. Ant-Man is quite far down the list,
Okay.
actually. 2023.
Ugh.
And Doctor Strange is next
Yeah.
year.
Everything is 2022, I feel like.
Well, we get 4 this
Yeah.
year and 4 next year. And then 2 for sure in 2023.
I know that
And then,
Elizabeth Olsen just finished filming her Doctor Strange part, so that should be close to wrapping at least.
yeah, she's obviously the villain of that,
I
right? I mean,
There's something. Well, yeah. I mean, she's real sad.
she's real. We're getting really off topic here, but yeah, she is real sad. And I mean, that ending scene from WandaVision with her kids, I mean, that's her kids. I mean, the stuff with Vision messes her up too, but her kids breaks her more than anything
Yeah,
in the comics.
exactly. It's what
So,
leads to everything falling apart.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that will be very interesting. And but then before Doctor Strange, we have Spider-Man,
Oh,
which
that's right.
is like no one knows anything about it.
I know.
For sure, everybody. Okay. I mean, I'm sure you've seen all the things about they're gonna have Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, and I mean, it's all rumors, and I think more than rumors, I think it's people wishing.
Right.
Um, but
But
there's
at the
like
same
there is
time,
literally.
multiverse, I mean,
So here's what gets me. They said WandaVision would lead into both Doctor Strange and Spider-Man.
uh-huh. So,
And it's very clear how it leads into Doctor
uh-huh.
Strange. It is not clear how it leads into Spider-Man, unless Spider-Man is going to be about the multiverse
Which
of.
it might, and for all we know, Spider-Man takes place at the same time as
Oh
Doctor
yeah, it
Strange. We
could.
don't know where and everything it's going to take place. It could be
That's right, because
simultaneous.
yeah, they do like to do that. Sometimes they'll do simultaneous ones.
Yeah, like Ant-Man and Wasp was.
Yeah, it was the same time as Infinity
Yeah,
War.
so it could be a case of that, which would kind of make sense, and would make sense that the other Spider-Mans would come, which would be kind of cool, but also I hate Tobey Maguire, but that's okay.
I know, poor Toby, but yeah. I think mainly the biggest complaint I've just been hearing is that that would make it too much like Into the Spider-Verse. Did you
Yeah,
see that?
yeah, which I
Yeah.
loved. That was
And I loved it. I loved it too. But I agree that like we don't just give me that. Like make sure it's new enough and different
yeah.
enough. That's not just the same thing. So, okay, we've gone way far off of Loki here. Uh, I mean, it's still Marvel
Well,
related, so
yeah,
it's
and everything
fine.
plays into each other, and
Okay, so I am seeing that Loki um is getting a season 2.
oh, I have not seen that.
So we're not necessarily going to be done after this season. I feel like the TVA story is going to have to be done. But I mean, that also tells you. So then the question is season 2 going to be our Loki? Or is it going to be Lady Loki?
Right,
Whose story is it going to continue? I think they'd continue her story
right.
because they're trying to pass off, right, the baton. Everybody's passing their batons or
Hmm.
whatever.
Yeah. Oh, which would make me
I mean,
sad though. I love him so.
I know. I mean, but it's like your original group's got to make way for your new crowd.
Yeah.
Um, so, but who knows? I mean,
And there's so many
No
people to
idea.
introduce. Like, this is going to take another 10 years, so. like,
Right? And then who knows after that? We're still going to be old people and they're going to be on like Marvel Phase 20 by
I
that point.
know. I'm okay with
And
that.
DC will still be trying to
Oh
figure out
my,
how to make good movies.
yes. I literally have never even been able to stay awake long enough to watch Batman versus Superman, so.
I've never seen it. I don't think I haven't seen a DC movie in years.
I've seen the Wonder
So here's
Women.
my
I've seen
thing.
both Wonder Woman movies, and I do actually really like those. But
I did hear those were good. But see, my thing is with DC is that they keep starting over.
I know.
It's like, okay, how many times do I need to see Batman's parents get shot in an alleyway? How many times do I need to see, you know, Superman get, shot off in a spaceship as a baby? It's like, stop
Yeah,
restarting the
and I
story.
actually am really confused what they're doing right now because they have the Batman coming out with Robert Pattinson being Batman,
Yeah.
but then they've got Flash coming out and Michael Keaton's coming back as Batman. So I'm like, what?
Yeah.
How do those even go
It's
together?
re-
That doesn't even make any sense. I'm so confused. I don't know what
yeah.
they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I was telling Randy. It was like I feel like that's the big difference between like DC and Marvel is like when DC messes up, their reaction is, "Oh, let's start over and let's just do the same thing again." Whereas Marvel is like if they mess up, they're just like they just move on.
Right?
They just keep moving
There's easy
forward.
ways to
Like,
explain a mistake. I mean, hi, just blow up the
yeah,
timeline. There you go.
right? Like it kills me. I can't get over it. Yeah, it's like I'm like another Batman,
And
another
oh, and I
Superman.
hate Batman so much, so I'm like not excited at all. But
I know.
I
It's
just
not interesting.
I don't know. Also, too, I feel like DC like doesn't plan ahead. Like Marvel has every. I guarantee you, there's a board somewhere where everything's written out for the next 10 years
Yeah.
at least. Like,
It's a board locked in a vault
right?
at the bottom of Fort
I
Knox. Like
know.
only Kevin Feige's
I
allowed to look
know.
at it.
Oh, so
Like,
genius. Oh,
yeah, I did hear that like yeah, when so cuz they bring in new directors for a lot of the films and I was reading that like some directors who've turned down Marvel movies, they said they've done it because they don't get the amount of control that they usually get when making a movie. Because they've got Kevin Feige in it, everybody else saying, no, you have to do it this
yeah,
way. And they don't tell them necessarily why because it's all part of their big picture. But it is interesting. And I mean, it's worked for them. So,
yeah.
if it ain't broke, keep
It's kind of good
working.
that there's
Whereas
one
DC's
person.
like,
It's good that there's one person
yeah,
over all of it because then there's, continuity and it doesn't seem
continuity.
so starkly
Exactly.
different
Exactly.
between one and the other.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Any other thoughts on this week's episode of
I
Loki?
don't think so. I'll probably watch it
Yeah,
two
I
more
just
times.
need more. Yeah, gonna need more time to absorb. Watch it again with the husband, and I'm sure we'll have some more things to talk about before next week's episode. I really don't know where it's gonna go. Obviously they got to figure out how to get off this moon first, but I'm still unclear if they're gonna work together or
Right.
because neither of them are honest about what they're trying to accomplish. So who the
And
heck
even if they
knows?
team up, I mean, Loki is the king of stabbing people in the back. So
Yeah.
I figure by the end he's still going to.
No, no matter how many times he says, trust me. I'm sorry, dude. I love you, but trust is
Especially
not the
this
same as
version
love.
of Loki because he's
Yes, it's
literally
before his own.
just he's the Loki full of hate. Hates his brother, hates his dad, hates everybody. Nothing good has happened for him yet.
Yeah,
So
he hasn't gone through any of his
he
redemption
watched his
arc at
mom
all.
die on a video, and that's about the only
Yeah.
thing that's changed his attitude a little, but I'm sure he's going to be mad about that too. So
It's always something, always something. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for joining us today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week for the next episode of Loki. Bye, folks.
bye.